The words stung as they left her fingertips, the final blow to a relationship that had drained her for years. Hannah stared at her phone, pulse quickening as she hesitated for just a second. Then, with one sharp tap, she ended it all. Before we continue, tell us where you're watching from. And if this story touches you, make sure you're subscribed, because tomorrow I've saved something extra special for you. Now, let's jump right back in. Hannah Brown had spent 3 years forgiving him. His lies, his cheating, his promises. She had let them all slide, hoping things would get better. But tonight, when she found out yet again that her boyfriend had crossed the line with another woman, something inside her snapped. She couldn't do it anymore. The last straw wasn't the betrayal itself. It was the fact that she kept forgiving him. Tonight, she wasn't asking for anything, no excuses, no pleading. Sitting on her bed, Hannah opened the message thread and typed, "You lied. You wasted my time. Lose this number. Do not look for me again." With a steady breath, she pressed send. She didn't look back. This time it was final. But then, before she could even process the relief that washed over her, her phone buzzed. The message wasn't from him. It was from an unknown number. "If every word here is true, he is a fool. Come to me. I'll make you forget him." Her heart dropped. She spent hours trying to compose what to write, and now that she finally wrote something that felt right for a clean breakup, she sent it to the wrong person. Confused, but oddly intrigued, she typed a quick apology, but his response came too quickly. "Then it is good it reached me." Her pulse raced. This stranger's boldness wasn't something she could ignore. It was different, direct. Hannah blinked at her phone screen like it had suddenly grown a second head. She checked the number she had sent the message to, and her stomach dropped. The last digit was wrong. Instead of a 7, she had typed a 9. 3 years of saving Damon's number in her phone, and she had managed to mess it up in the most crucial moment of her life. "Oh, no," she whispered to herself. "Oh, no, no, no." She had just poured her heart out to a stranger who apparently had the audacity to respond with the smoothest line she had ever received in her 27 years of existence. Her thumbs hovered over the keyboard. What was she supposed to say? "Sorry, wrong number. Please forget I exist?" That seemed like the logical choice. The mature choice. The choice any reasonable woman would make after accidentally trauma dumping on a random person. Instead, she found herself typing, "Who is this?" The response came within seconds. "Someone who recognizes a woman who deserves better." Hannah let out a laugh that was half disbelief and half amusement. Was this guy serious? This had to be some kind of joke. Maybe it was one of Damon's friends messing with her. That would be just like him, to have his boys try to intercept her breakup text and turn it into some sick game. "Look," she typed back. "I sent that message to the wrong person. I'm sorry for bothering you." "You did not bother me. You intrigued me." She stared at those words for a long moment. Intrigued. When was the last time anyone had found her intriguing? Damon certainly never had. To him, she was convenient. A placeholder. Someone to come home to when his other options fell through. Her best friend Keisha would tell her to block this number immediately and go eat some ice cream. Her mother would tell her to pray about it and stay away from strange men on the internet. Her therapist, if she could afford one, would probably tell her that engaging with mystery men after an emotional breakup was a classic avoidance mechanism. Hannah typed back anyway. "You don't even know me. I know that you spent time on someone who did not value you. I know that you finally found the strength to walk away. I know that you deserve someone who would never make you write such words." She sat up straighter in her bed, her heart doing something complicated in her chest. This was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. She was having an emotional moment with a wrong number. This was the kind of thing that happened in movies, not in real life. Not to regular women from Atlanta who worked as marketing coordinators and had a weakness for cheese fries. Are you always this forward with strangers? She asked. Only the ones who interest me. Hannah caught herself smiling. Actually smiling. Her relationship had just ended. She had mascara tracks dried on her cheeks from the crying session earlier, and she was sitting in her pajamas that had a questionable spaghetti stain on them. Yet here she was, grinning at her phone like a teenager. I don't even know your name, she typed. There was a pause, longer than the previous responses. For a moment, she thought he had finally come to his senses and decided to stop engaging with the crazy woman who had accidentally texted him her breakup manifesto. Then her phone buzzed. Choi Min. And you are? Choi Min. That was a Korean name if she had ever heard one. She tried to imagine what kind of person would have such a name and respond to wrong number texts with offers to help her forget her ex. Probably some bored college student, or maybe a middle-aged man going through his own crisis. Or perhaps a serial killer who lured women through mysterious text messages. That last thought should have made her stop. It didn't. Hannah, she replied. Hannah Brown. Hannah. A beautiful name. It suits you. You don't know what I look like. I don't need to. Beauty is not always about appearance. Okay, this man was either incredibly smooth or incredibly practiced at this. Either way, Hannah found herself leaning toward the edge of her bed, completely forgetting that she was supposed to be wallowing in post-breakup misery right now. Her phone buzzed with another message before she could respond. Tell me about him, the fool who lost you. She hesitated. Was she really about to spill her relationship drama to a complete stranger? A stranger whose face she had never seen, whose voice she had never heard? This went against every rule of internet safety she had ever learned. But then again, sometimes strangers were easier to talk to than the people who knew you. Strangers had no expectations, no history, no judgment based on past mistakes. His name is Damon, she began typing. We were together for 3 years. He cheated on me, multiple times. And every single time I took him back because I thought he would change. She pressed send before she could second-guess herself. He didn't change, Choi Min responded. No, he didn't. Men like him never do. They take and take until there is nothing left to take. Then they move on to the next person they can drain. Hannah felt a lump forming in her throat. She had heard variations of this from her friends, from her sister, from everyone who had watched her go back to Damon time after time. But hearing it from this stranger somehow hit differently. There was no pity in his words, no "I told you so" energy, just a cold, matter-of-fact assessment of the situation. Why did you stay? He asked. She thought about lying, thought about giving him some excuse about love being complicated or relationships requiring work. But what was the point of lying to someone she would never meet? Because I was scared, she admitted. Scared of being alone. Scared of starting over. Scared that maybe he was the best I could do. The response came quickly. That is the lie people like him want you to believe. You are not scared of being alone. You are scared of discovering how powerful you are without someone holding you back. Hannah read those words 3 times. Then she screenshot them because something about them felt like they needed to be preserved, framed, maybe, tattooed on her forehead as a daily reminder. You're pretty wise for a stranger, she typed. I have seen many people waste their potential on those who do not deserve them. It is a tragedy that repeats itself. There was something in the way he wrote, something almost formal, controlled. Like every word was chosen with precision and purpose. It was so different from Damon's texts, which were usually just strings of emojis and WID messages at 2 in the morning. What do you do? She asked, curiosity getting the better of her. For work, I mean. Another pause. She watched the 3 dots appear and disappear several times. I am a businessman. I handle various enterprises. Vague. Intentionally vague. That should have been a red flag. Instead, Hannah found herself even more curious. What kind of enterprises? The kind that require discretion. She laughed out loud at that. That's very mysterious of you. Mystery is not always a bad thing. Sometimes it is simply privacy. Fair enough, she thought. She wasn't exactly spilling her whole life story either. Well, except for the breakup stuff. That had come out pretty easily. It's late, she typed, suddenly aware that it was almost midnight and she had work in the morning. I should probably go. Probably, he agreed. But you don't want to. The audacity of this man. The absolute audacity. And the worst part was that he was right. She didn't want to stop talking to him. This strange conversation had done more for her mood than the pint of ice cream she had been planning to devour. Good night, Choi Min, she typed. Good night, Hannah Brown. I hope you dream of better things than the fool who lost you. She plugged in her phone, set it on her nightstand, and stared at the ceiling. Tonight was supposed to be about closure, about ending a chapter of her life and moving forward. Instead, she had accidentally opened a door to something completely unexpected. Her last thought before falling asleep was wondering if she would ever hear from the mysterious Choi Min again. Part of her hoped she wouldn't. Things would be simpler that way. But a bigger part of her hoped that when she woke up, there would be a new message waiting. Hannah woke up to the sound of her alarm screaming at her like it had a personal vendetta. She groaned, slapping at her nightstand until her hand connected with her phone. The screen lit up, and her heart did a little jump when she saw the notification. One new message from an unknown number. She sat up so fast that she nearly gave herself whiplash. Her fingers fumbled with the phone as she unlocked it, all traces of sleep vanishing in an instant. Good morning, Hannah Brown. I hope the fool did not occupy your dreams. A smile spread across her face before she could stop it. She checked the timestamp. The message had been sent at 6 in the morning. Who was this man, and why was he awake at such an ungodly hour thinking about her dreams? Good morning, she typed back. No dreams about fools, just weird ones about being late to work and showing up without pants. His response came within a minute. A common anxiety dream. It suggests you carry too much stress about things beyond your control. Are you a therapist now? No. But I have learned to read people. It is a necessary skill in my line of work. There it was again. That vague reference to his mysterious job. Hannah wanted to press him for details, but her alarm went off again, reminding her that she had exactly 45 minutes to shower, dress, and make herself presentable for the marketing meeting she had been dreading all week. I have to get ready for work, she typed. Talk later? I will be here. Something about those 4 words made her stomach flutter. She tried to ignore it as she dragged herself to the bathroom, but the feeling persisted through her entire morning routine. By the time she was dressed and heading out the door, she had checked her phone 6 times. No new messages. She was kinda disappointed. The office was its usual chaos when Hannah arrived. Phones ringing, keyboards clacking, and her co-worker Brenda loudly complaining about her husband to anyone who would listen. Hannah slid into her cubicle and tried to focus on the presentation she needed to finalize before the 10 o'clock meeting. Her phone buzzed in her purse. She glanced around to make sure no one was watching before pulling it out. What do you do for work? Choi Min had asked. Marketing coordinator, she replied quickly. Very glamorous. I make PowerPoints and attend meetings where people argue about font choices. Font choices are important. They convey tone and professionalism. Please tell that to my boss who insists on using Comic Sans for everything. Comic Sans is a crime against design. Your boss should be stopped. Hannah snorted so loudly that Brenda looked over at her with raised eyebrows. She quickly shoved her phone back in her purse and pretended to be very interested in her computer screen. The meeting went exactly as she expected. 2 hours of discussing quarterly projections, brand alignment, and whether the company should invest in TikTok advertising. Hannah contributed where she could, but her mind kept drifting to the stranger on her phone. What was he doing right now? Was he thinking about her too? Was she being absolutely insane for wondering these things about someone she had never met? Probably. Definitely. But she couldn't seem to stop. During her lunch break, she escaped to the small park across the street from her office building. She found her usual bench, unwrapped her sad turkey sandwich, and finally allowed herself to fully engage with her phone. 3 new messages waited for her. I hope your meeting went well and no Comic Sans was harmed. I am in a meeting of my own. It is considerably less interesting than font discussions. A man just suggested something very foolish. I am deciding whether to laugh or remove him from the room. Hannah grinned at her phone like a complete fool. She typed back quickly. Please don't remove anyone on my account. What did he suggest? The reply came fast. He suggested that a certain problem could be solved through negotiation rather than decisive action. He clearly does not understand how business works. That sounds intense. What kind of business meeting involves removing people from rooms? The effective kind. She shook her head, still smiling. You're very mysterious, Choi Min. I'm starting to think you might be a spy or something. A spy would be more subtle. I am simply a man who values efficiency and does not tolerate foolishness. And yet you're spending your work hours texting a stranger you accidentally received a breakup message from. Very efficient. You are an exception. Exceptions are permitted for interesting people. Hannah felt her cheeks warm, despite the cool breeze. She took a bite of her sandwich to buy herself time to think of a response. This man was smooth. Too smooth. It was probably a red flag. Definitely a red flag. But she had spent 3 years ignoring red flags with Damon, so what was one more? No, that was terrible logic. She needed to be smarter than this. Can I ask you something? She typed. You may ask anything. Why are you doing this? Texting me, I mean. You don't know me. For all you know, I could be a complete mess of a person with terrible judgment. You sent a breakup text to the wrong number. Your judgment is clearly questionable. She laughed out loud, startling a pigeon that had been eyeing her sandwich. Fair point. But to answer your question seriously, he continued, I am doing this because your message was honest. Raw honesty is rare. Most people spend their lives performing for others, saying what they think they should say. You wrote what you felt, with no filter. That is valuable. Hannah stared at those words for a long moment. She had never thought of her angry breakup text as anything special. It was just her finally snapping after years of holding everything in. But he had seen something in it, something worth his time. Also, another message appeared. I am curious about you. Curiosity is a powerful motivator. Curious about what? She asked. Everything. What makes you laugh? What makes you angry? What made you stay with a fool for 3 years when you clearly deserve better? What you would do if someone actually treated you the way you deserve to be treated. Her breath caught in her throat. These were big questions, deep questions, the kind of questions that required more than a text message to answer. That's a lot of curiosity, she replied. I am a thorough person. Before she could respond, her phone buzzed with another message. This one was not from Choi Min. It was from Damon. Yo, did you really just break up with me over text? That's cold, Hannah. We need to talk. Call me. All the warmth she had been feeling evaporated instantly. She stared at his message, feeling the familiar knot forming in her stomach. The one that always appeared when Damon demanded something from her. The one that usually preceded her caving to whatever he wanted. Not this time. She typed back 3 words. We're done. Goodbye. Then she blocked his number. Her hands were shaking when she went back to her conversation with Choi Min. She needed a distraction. Something to remind her that she had made the right choice. My ex just texted me, she wrote. I blocked him. The response was immediate. Good. He does not deserve access to you. It felt scary, but also really good. That is growth. Choosing yourself is always frightening at first, but it gets easier. You sound like you speak from experience. I have had to cut many people from my life who did not serve my purpose. Business partners, associates, people who thought they could take advantage of my generosity. The first time is always difficult, but necessary actions often are. There was something almost chilling about the way he phrased that. Cut people from his life. Did not serve his purpose. It sounded clinical, calculated, but Hannah understood it. Sometimes you had to be ruthless to protect yourself. My best friend thinks I'm crazy, she admitted, for talking to a stranger like this. She says you're probably a catfish or a serial killer. Your best friend is wise to be cautious. The internet is full of dangerous people. But you're not dangerous? Another pause, longer than usual. I did not say that. A chill ran down Hannah's spine, but it wasn't entirely unpleasant. It was the kind of chill you got watching a scary movie. Thrilling, in a way you knew you shouldn't enjoy. Should I be worried? She asked. Not about me. I have no interest in harming you, Hannah Brown. Quite the opposite. What's the opposite of harming someone? Protecting them, elevating them, giving them the life they deserve. She read that message several times, trying to figure out if it was romantic or creepy. Maybe both, probably both. You don't even know me, she typed. How can you know what life I deserve? I know enough. I know you settled for less than you were worth. I know you have fire in you that someone tried to extinguish. I know you took a chance by continuing to talk to me when any sensible person would have stopped. That tells me you are brave, even when you doubt yourself. Hannah's lunch break ended 10 minutes ago, but she couldn't bring herself to care. She was sitting on a park bench having the most intense conversation of her life with a man she had never seen. Who are you, really? She asked. And don't give me the mysterious businessman answer. Tell me something real. The typing indicator appeared and disappeared several times. She watched it with bated breath, wondering if she had pushed too hard. Finally, his response came. I am a man who built an empire from nothing. A man who learned early that the world does not give you what you deserve. You must take it. I am someone who has done things that most people would find unforgivable. But I do not apologize for survival. I do not apologize for power. I am Choi Min, and I am offering you something no one else will. What's that? A chance to be seen, truly seen, not as someone's backup plan or safety net, but as someone worth pursuing, worth protecting, worth choosing. Hannah's heart was pounding so hard she could hear it in her ears. This was insane. This whole situation was absolutely insane. She should put her phone away, go back to work, and pretend this conversation never happened. Instead, she typed, "Why me?" Because you reached out to me. The universe does not make mistakes, Hannah. Your message was meant to find me, and now that it has, I am not letting go. She didn't know what to say to that. It was the most intense thing anyone had ever said to her. More intense than any declaration Damon had ever made, and he had been full of grand romantic gestures in the beginning, before he started taking her for granted. I have to go back to work, she finally typed. I know. But Hannah? Yes? I meant what I said last night. Come to me, and I'll make you forget him. The offer stands. She pocketed her phone and walked back to her office in a daze. Her sandwich sat forgotten on the park bench, a gift for the pigeons who had been waiting patiently. For the rest of the afternoon, she couldn't focus on anything. Her coworkers noticed her distraction, but she brushed off their questions with vague excuses about not sleeping well. It wasn't entirely a lie. By the time she got home that evening, she had made a decision. A stupid decision, probably. The kind of decision that her mother would lecture her about for years if she ever found out. She picked up her phone and typed, "Tell me more about yourself. I want to know everything." His response came with a single line that made her pulse quicken. Then let me tell you about my world. 2 weeks had passed since Hannah sent her breakup text to the wrong number. 2 weeks of constant messaging with Choi Min. 2 weeks of her life becoming something she barely recognized. She woke up every morning to his messages. Good morning greetings that arrived like clockwork at 6, always accompanied by something thoughtful. A quote he had read. A question about her day. Sometimes just a simple acknowledgement that he was thinking of her. It was more attention than Damon had given her in 3 years combined. You're smiling at your phone again, Keisha said, sliding into the booth across from Hannah at their favorite brunch spot. Please tell me you're not back with that trifling man. Hannah looked up, startled. She hadn't even noticed Keisha arrive. What? No, absolutely not. Damon is blocked on everything. I haven't spoken to him since I ended things. Then who has you grinning like you just won the lottery? Hannah hesitated. She hadn't told anyone about Choi Min. Not because she was ashamed, but because she didn't know how to explain it. How did you tell your best friend that you were falling for someone you had never met? Someone whose face you had never seen? Someone who spoke about cutting people out of his life like it was routine maintenance? It's complicated, she finally said. Keisha's eyes narrowed. She had known Hannah since college, and she could read her like a book. Complicated how? Please tell me you're not on those dating apps again. You know those things are just playgrounds for men with commitment issues. It's not a dating app. Then what is it? Hannah took a deep breath. You remember that breakup text I sent to Damon? The one where you finally grew a spine? Yes, I remember. I was very proud. Well, I sent it to the wrong number. Keisha's eyebrows shot up so high they nearly disappeared into her hairline. Excuse me? I typed the last digit wrong. The text went to some random person instead of Damon. Okay, that's embarrassing but not complicated. Just apologize and move on. I did apologize, but he responded. He? Hannah nodded slowly. His name is Choi Min. He's Korean. He's some kind of businessman. And we've been talking every day for the past 2 weeks. Keisha stared at her for a long moment. Then she grabbed a menu and fanned herself dramatically. Lord, give me strength! You're telling me you've been having a whole relationship with a stranger who accidentally received your breakup text? It's not a relationship. We're just talking. For 2 weeks? Every day? Girl, that's a relationship. That's more communication than most marriages. Hannah couldn't argue with that logic. She had spoken more words to Choi Min in 14 days than she had spoken to Damon in their last 6 months together. What do you even talk about? Keisha demanded. Everything. He asks about my day, my work, my family. He remembers things I mentioned in passing. Last week I told him I was stressed about a presentation, and he sent me a voice message with breathing exercises. A voice message? So you've heard his voice? Hannah felt her cheeks warm. Yes, he has a nice voice. Deep. Calm. He speaks English really well, but with a slight accent. Keisha leaned forward, her expression shifting from skeptical to concerned. Hannah, baby, I love you. You know I do. But this sounds like the beginning of every true crime documentary I've ever watched. Strange man contacts vulnerable woman after breakup. Strange man is charming and attentive. Strange man turns out to be harvesting organs in his basement. He's not harvesting organs. How do you know? Have you seen his basement? I haven't seen anything. We've only texted and done voice messages. No video calls, no pictures. Hannah hesitated. This was the part she knew would sound bad. He sent me one picture. Of his hand. Keisha nearly choked on her water. His hand? Girl? His hand? He was wearing a really nice watch, and his hands looked clean and well-maintained. I cannot believe what I'm hearing right now. My best friend is catching feelings for a man based on his hand hygiene. Hannah groaned and dropped her head onto the table. I know it sounds crazy. Believe me, I know. But there's something different about him, Keisha. He listens to me. Actually listens. He remembers everything I tell him. He makes me feel like what I say matters. Keisha's expression softened slightly. She reached across the table and patted Hannah's head. I know Damon did a number on you. I watched that man drain the life out of you for 3 years. So I understand why someone showing you basic human decency feels like a revelation. But you have to be careful. You don't know anything real about this man. I know more than you think. Like what? Hannah sat up and started counting on her fingers. His name is Choi Min. He's 34 years old. He was born in Seoul but moved to the States when he was 20. He runs multiple businesses, though he's vague about what exactly they are. He has a younger sister who he's very protective of. His favorite color is black. He doesn't drink alcohol, but has a weakness for expensive coffee. And he thinks Comic Sans should be illegal. Keisha listened to all of this with an increasingly troubled expression. Okay, so he's told you some personal details. That doesn't mean any of it is true. Anyone can create a fake backstory. Why would he lie to me? I'm nobody. Just some random woman who accidentally texted him. Maybe that's exactly why. Maybe he sees you as an easy target. The words stung, even though Hannah knew Keisha meant them out of love. Was she an easy target? Had years of being treated poorly by Damon made her desperate enough to fall for any man who showed her attention? Her phone buzzed on the table. Both women looked at it. Is that him? Keisha asked. Hannah nodded and picked up the phone. Having brunch with your friend? The one who thinks I'm a serial killer? She couldn't help but laugh then. She had told him about Keisha's concerns just that morning. How did you know I was at brunch? She typed back. You mentioned it yesterday. You said Sundays are for brunch with Keisha at the place with the good waffles. Keisha was reading over her shoulder now. Okay, that's either very sweet or very stalkerish. I genuinely cannot tell. Hannah showed her the message. See? He remembers things. Damon couldn't even remember my birthday half the time. That's a low bar, sweetie. A goldfish could clear that bar. Another message came through. Tell Keisha I understand her concerns. A good friend protects her people. I respect that. Keisha grabbed the phone from Hannah's hands and started typing before Hannah could stop her. This is Keisha. Who are you really and what do you want with my friend? Keisha! Hannah tried to snatch her phone back, but Keisha held it out of reach. If he's real, he can handle a direct question. If he's a scammer, he'll disappear. They both watched the screen, waiting. The typing indicator appeared almost immediately. I am Choi Min. I am a businessman who received your friend's message by accident. I found her honesty refreshing and wanted to know more. My intentions are simple. I want to know her. Whether that leads somewhere depends entirely on her. Keisha pursed her lips, clearly not satisfied. She typed again. That's very smooth, too smooth. What kind of business do you run? The kind that requires discretion. That's not an answer. It is the only answer I can give to a stranger. No offense intended. Keisha handed the phone back to Hannah with a huff. He's slick, I'll give him that. But I still don't trust him. Something about this whole situation feels off. Hannah looked at the phone, then back at her friend. What if you're wrong? What if he's exactly who he says he is? Then I'll apologize and buy him a fruit basket. But until I see proof that this man is legitimate, I'm going to worry about you. That's my job as your best friend. They finished their brunch with the conversation shifting to safer topics. Keisha's job at the hospital. Her on-again, off-again thing with Marcus. The new Thai restaurant that had opened down the street from Hannah's apartment. Normal, everyday things that felt almost strange after 2 weeks of intense conversations about life, pain, and what it meant to truly see another person. When Hannah got home that afternoon, she found herself staring at her phone. Choi Min hadn't messaged since the exchange with Keisha. She wondered if he was upset, or maybe just busy. He had mentioned having meetings on Sunday afternoons sometimes. Business never stopped, he had told her. She was about to text him when her phone rang. Not a text notification, an actual phone call. From his number. Her heart nearly stopped. They had exchanged voice messages, sure, but an actual phone call was different. more intimate, more real. She answered on the third ring, trying not to sound as nervous as she felt. Hello? Hannah. His voice was exactly as she remembered from the voice messages, deep and controlled, with that slight accent that made her name sound almost musical. I hope I'm not interrupting. No, I just got home from brunch. Good. I wanted to hear your voice. Messages are nice, but they don't capture everything. She sat down on her couch, suddenly feeling like her legs couldn't support her. This is the first time we've actually talked, like, live. I know. I've been wanting to call for days, but I didn't want to push too fast. You? Worried about pushing too fast? You literally told me to come to you and you'd make me forget my ex. That's pretty forward. She heard him laugh. It was a low, rich sound that did things to her insides. Fair point. I suppose I can be bold when the moment calls for it. So, what made you call today? Your friend, Keisha. Hannah groaned. I'm sorry about her. She's just protective. Don't apologize. She asked the right questions. I would be concerned if the people in your life didn't look out for you. It shows you're valued. She thinks you might be harvesting organs. Another laugh. I assure you I have no interest in organs. Well, except perhaps one. Which one? Your heart. Hannah was grateful he couldn't see her face right now because she was definitely blushing like a teenager. That was smooth. I've been told I have a way with words. By who? Other women you've texted wrong numbers with? You're the only one. Wrong numbers usually get a brief response and a correction. You got more because you deserved more. She pulled her knees up to her chest, making herself small on the couch. Can I ask you something? Anything. Why won't you tell me what you really do? And don't say it requires discretion. I want a real answer. There was a pause. She could hear him breathing on the other end, considering his response. Because once you know, you can't unknow it. And I want you to know me as a person first, not as what I do. That sounds ominous. Perhaps, but it's honest. When the time is right, I'll tell you everything. I'll show you my world, Hannah. All of it. But right now, I just want to be a man talking to a woman he can't stop thinking about. Her breath caught. You can't stop thinking about me? Not for a single moment. You've occupied my mind since that first message. It's inconvenient, honestly. I have a business to run, decisions to make. Yet here I am, checking my phone every few minutes like a lovesick teenager. I do the same thing, she admitted quietly. I know. You told me you checked your phone 6 times before leaving for work one day. I've been counting your response times. You're usually faster than me. That's a little creepy. Probably, but I prefer to call it attentive. They talked for 3 hours that night, about everything and nothing, her childhood in Atlanta, his adjustment to life in America, the foods they loved, the dreams they had abandoned, the fears they rarely spoke aloud. By the time they hung up, Hannah felt like she had known him for years instead of weeks. I want to meet you, she said, the words escaping before she could stop them. I want that too, more than you know. When? Soon. I have some business to handle first, but soon, Hannah. I promise. After they hung up, she lay in bed staring at the ceiling. Her life had taken a sharp turn that she never could have predicted. 3 weeks ago, she was trapped in a dead-end relationship with a man who didn't deserve her. Now she was falling for someone she had never seen. Someone mysterious and intense and probably dangerous. Keisha's warnings echoed in her head. This could all be an elaborate scam. He could be lying about everything. She could be setting herself up for heartbreak even worse than what Damon put her through. But something deep in her gut told her this was different. Choi Min was different. She just hoped she wasn't wrong. 3 days after their first phone call, Hannah received a message that made her drop her coffee mug. I want to meet you, tonight. There is a car waiting outside your building. She stared at her phone, then at her window, then back at her phone. It was 7 in the evening. She was wearing sweatpants and a t-shirt that said, "I'm not lazy. I'm on energy-saving mode." Her hair was wrapped in a silk scarf, and she had exactly zero makeup on her face. "What do you mean there's a car outside my building?" she typed back frantically. "How do you know where I live? You mentioned your apartment complex once, the one near the Thai restaurant that opened recently. There are only 3 complexes in that area. I made an educated guess." "That's terrifying." "I prefer to call it resourceful." Hannah walked to her window and peeked through the blinds. Sure enough, a sleek black car was parked at the curb. Not a regular car. The kind of car that cost more than her annual salary. The kind of car that had a driver who stood outside wearing a suit and earpiece like he was protecting a head of state. "I can't just get in a strange car," she typed. "That's how people end up on the news." "The driver's name is Park. He has worked for me for 7 years. He will bring you to me safely. I give you my word." "Your word means nothing. I've never met you." "Then consider this our first test of trust. Come to me, Hannah. Let me show you my world." Her heart was pounding so hard she could feel it in her throat. This was crazy. Absolutely certifiably insane. Every true crime podcast she had ever listened to was screaming at her to stay inside and call the police. But another part of her, the part that had spent 3 years settling for less than she deserved, wanted to take the risk, wanted to see if this mysterious man was everything he had promised to be. She called Keisha. "There's a car outside my building," she said before Keisha could even say hello. "Choi Min sent it. He wants to meet me tonight." "I'm sorry, what? A car? He sent a car to your apartment? How does he know where you live?" "He figured it out from something I mentioned." "Hannah Nicole Brown, if you get in that car, I will personally resurrect you just to kill you again." I know it sounds bad. It doesn't sound bad. It sounds like the opening scene of a horror movie. A very predictable horror movie where everyone in the audience is screaming at the screen because the protagonist is making terrible decisions. Hannah looked out the window again. The driver, Park, was still standing there patiently. He didn't look threatening. He looked bored, actually, like he did this sort of thing all the time. "What if he's real?" Hannah asked quietly. "What if this is my chance at something different? What if he's a murderer? What if you disappear and I have to explain to your mother that you got in a strange car to meet an internet boyfriend?" "He's not an internet boyfriend." "What would you call him then?" Hannah didn't have an answer for that. She didn't know what Choi Min was to her. A stranger who had become something more. A voice on the phone that made her feel seen. A possibility she wasn't ready to give up on. "Send me your location at all times," Keisha said with a heavy sigh. "Every 15 minutes you text me that you're okay. If I don't hear from you, I'm calling the police, the FBI, and your mama." "Thank you." "Don't thank me. I'm enabling your bad decisions. I should be over there physically restraining you. But I know you. You're going to do this whether I approve or not. So at least let me be your backup plan." Hannah hung up and took a deep breath. She looked at herself in the mirror. Sweatpants and a ratty t-shirt were definitely not the outfit for meeting a mysterious businessman who sent luxury cars to pick up women. She changed faster than she ever had in her life. A simple black dress that hugged her curves in all the right places. Gold hoop earrings that her sister had given her for her birthday. Heels that she only wore for special occasions because they made her legs look amazing, but destroyed her feet after an hour. Her hair was still wrapped, and she didn't have time to do anything elaborate with it. She pulled off the scarf and fluffed out her natural curls, hoping they looked intentionally tousled rather than, "I was lounging on my couch eating chips." A swipe of lipstick, a touch of mascara, a prayer to whatever deity was listening that she wasn't about to make the biggest mistake of her life. She grabbed her purse and headed downstairs. Park straightened when he saw her approach. He was older than she expected, maybe in his 50s, with a weathered face that suggested he had seen things, probably done things too. But his bow was respectful, and his voice was gentle when he spoke. "Miss Brown." "It is an honor to meet you. Mr. Choi has spoken highly of you." "He has?" "Indeed. Please." He opened the back door of the car, revealing an interior that looked like something out of a magazine. Leather seats, ambient lighting, a small refrigerator stocked with water, and what appeared to be expensive champagne. Hannah slid inside, feeling like she had stepped into another universe. The drive took about 40 minutes. They left her neighborhood and headed toward the part of the city she rarely visited, the part where the buildings got taller and the cars got shinier, and the people walked with the kind of confidence that came from knowing they owned the world. She texted Keisha her location every 15 minutes as promised. Keisha responded with increasingly frantic messages. "Where are you going?" "That's the financial district. Why are you in the financial district?" "Girl, if you're being trafficked, blink twice in your next selfie." Hannah sent a selfie with a thumbs up, hoping it would calm her friend's nerves. It probably didn't. The car finally stopped in front of a building that looked like it was made entirely of glass and ambition. A doorman rushed to open the car door before Park could even put the vehicle in park. "Miss Brown," the doorman said, bowing slightly, "Mr. Choi is expecting you. 37th floor." She stepped out of the car on shaky legs. The lobby of the building was all marble and modern art, the kind of space that made you feel underdressed no matter what you were wearing. A security guard escorted her to a private elevator that required a key card to operate. "Mr. Choi's personal elevator," the guard explained. "It goes directly to his suite." His suite. Not his office. His suite. The elevator ride felt like it lasted an eternity. Hannah watched the numbers climb, her reflection staring back at her from the mirrored walls. She looked terrified. She looked excited. She looked like a woman who had no idea what she was walking into. The doors opened to reveal a space that took her breath away. It wasn't an office. It was a penthouse. Floor-to-ceiling windows showcased the city skyline, glittering with lights that looked like fallen stars. The furniture was minimal but clearly expensive, all clean lines and dark colors. Art hung on the walls, pieces that probably cost more than everything Hannah had ever owned combined. And standing in the middle of it all, with his back to her as he looked out at the city, was a man. He turned when he heard the elevator doors open. Hannah's breath caught. Choi Min was not what she expected. She wasn't sure what she had expected, honestly. Someone older, maybe. Someone intimidating in an obvious way. Someone who looked like a businessman in a generic sense. Instead, she found herself looking at a man who was almost unfairly handsome. Sharp features, dark eyes that seemed to see right through her. Black hair pushed back from his forehead in a way that looked effortlessly elegant. He was tall, taller than she had imagined, and dressed in all black, a fitted shirt, tailored pants, no tie, no jacket, but somehow still more put together than any man she had ever met. He smiled when he saw her, and something in her chest fluttered. "Hannah." He said her name like it was a precious thing. "You came." "I came," she repeated, suddenly feeling stupid. All those hours of conversation, all those voice messages and phone calls, and now that he was standing in front of her, she couldn't think of a single intelligent thing to say. He crossed the room toward her, moving with a grace that suggested complete control over his body. When he reached her, he stopped just close enough that she could smell his cologne. Something expensive and subtle, like sandalwood and something darker she couldn't identify. "You're even more beautiful than I imagined," he said. "You imagined me?" "Constantly. Your voice painted pictures in my mind, but the reality is far better than any picture." She felt her cheeks warm. "You're pretty smooth in person, too. I was hoping you'd be awkward so I could feel less intimidated." He laughed, that same rich sound she had heard over the phone. "I apologize for not being awkward. I can try if it would make you more comfortable." "Please don't. That would just be weird." He gestured toward a seating area near the windows. "Come, sit. Can I get you something to drink?" "Water is fine. I don't drink." "Neither do I. Another thing we have in common." She settled onto a couch that probably cost more than her car. The city sprawled below them, millions of people living their lives, completely unaware that Hannah Brown was sitting in a penthouse with a man who made her heart race. Choi Min returned with 2 glasses of water and sat across from her, close enough to talk comfortably, but far enough to not overwhelm her. She appreciated the thoughtfulness. "So," she said, trying to find her footing, "this is your world." "Part of it. I have other properties, but this is where I spend most of my time in the city. It's impressive, very minimalist bachelor pad chic." "I've never thought of it that way, but I suppose that's accurate." They sat in silence for a moment, just looking at each other. Hannah had so many questions, so many things she wanted to know. But now that she was here, in his space, the questions felt heavier. "You said you'd tell me everything when the time was right," she said finally. "Is now the right time?" His expression shifted slightly. Something flickered in those dark eyes. "Are you sure you want to know?" "I got in a strange car and came to a stranger's penthouse. I think I'm committed at this point." He nodded slowly, as if coming to a decision. "What I'm about to tell you cannot leave this room. Do you understand?" "I understand." He leaned forward, his elbows resting on his knees. "I am not just a businessman, Hannah. The businesses I run are legitimate on paper. Real estate, import and export, investment firms. But beneath that surface is something else entirely." Her mouth went dry. "What kind of something else?" "I run an organization, a family, in the traditional sense. We have been operating in this city for almost 2 decades. We handle things that regular businesses cannot: protection, collections, conflict resolution." "Conflict resolution," she repeated. "That's a nice way of saying you hurt people." "Sometimes, when necessary. I don't enjoy violence, but I don't shy away from it either. In my world, hesitation gets you killed." Hannah felt like the room was spinning. She had suspected something like this: the vague answers, the mysterious references to his work, the way he spoke about cutting people out of his life. But hearing it confirmed was different. "So you're like a mafia boss," she said. "That's one way to put it. I prefer to think of myself as a businessman who operates outside conventional rules. But yes, in simple terms, I am what you would call a mafia boss." She should leave. Every rational part of her brain was screaming at her to get up, walk to that elevator, and never look back. This was not the kind of man she should be involved with. This was not the kind of life she should be curious about. But she didn't move. "Why tell me this?" she asked. "You could have kept lying, made up some story about being a regular CEO." "Because I don't want to lie to you. Everyone in my life either fears me or wants something from me. With you, I have a chance to be honest, to be seen for what I am, not just what I can provide." "And what if I can't accept what you are?" He met her eyes, and there was something vulnerable in his gaze, something she hadn't expected from a man who had just admitted to being a criminal. "Then you walk away. I will not stop you. I will not pursue you. You will never hear from me again." She believed him. Despite everything, she believed him. "But if you stay," he continued, "if you choose to know me despite what I am, I will give you everything. Protection, loyalty, a life beyond anything you've ever imagined. I will make you forget every man who ever made you feel small." Hannah looked at him, really looked at him. This man who had reached out to her through a wrong number. This man who had listened to her pain and responded with something other than pity. This man who was offering her a world she never knew existed. "I need time," she said, "to process this." "Of course, take all the time you need." She stood, and he stood with her. They walked together to the elevator, and when the doors opened, she turned to face him one last time. "For what it's worth," she said. "I'm glad my text reached you." Something softened in his expression. So am I. The elevator doors closed, and Hannah descended back to the real world. But she knew, deep in her bones, that nothing would ever be the same. Hannah had been staring at her ceiling for exactly 3 hours and 17 minutes when her phone started ringing. Not Choi Min. The call was from an unknown number with a local area code. She almost didn't answer. After last night's revelation, she was emotionally exhausted. Finding out the man you were developing feelings for was a literal crime boss wasn't exactly something you processed overnight, but something made her swipe to accept the call. Hello? Hannah, thank God, it's me. Don't hang up. Damon. Of course it was Damon, because her life wasn't complicated enough already. How are you calling me? I blocked your number. I'm using my boy Marcus's phone. Look, we need to talk. Something serious is going on. We have nothing to talk about. We're done, remember? This isn't about us. This is about that Korean dude you've been seeing. Hannah's blood went cold. She sat up in bed, gripping her phone tighter. What are you talking about? Don't play dumb. I know you've been hanging with some Asian businessman. People talk, Hannah. And this guy you're with? He's bad news. You don't know anything about him. I know more than you think. My new business partners, they got history with him. They're not happy about you two getting close. Her mind raced. Business partners? Since when did Damon have business partners? The only business Damon had ever been involved in was selling knockoff sneakers from his cousin's trunk. What kind of business partners? She asked carefully. The kind that don't play games. Look, I'm trying to do you a favor here. Stay away from Choi Min. He's dangerous. The fact that Damon knew Choi Min's name made her stomach turn. This was bad. This was very bad. Are you threatening me? I'm warning you, there's a difference. These people I'm working with, they got beef with your boy. And if you're with him, that makes you a target too. Since when do you care about my safety? There was a pause. When Damon spoke again, his voice had taken on that fake sweet tone he used when he wanted something. Come on, baby. You know I still care about you. We had 3 good years together. 3 years of you cheating on me. That's not fair. I made mistakes. But I loved you. You loved having someone to come home to when your side pieces got tired of you. Damn, when did you get so cold? The same night I sent you that breakup text. The one you ignored until now. What's really going on, Damon? Why do you suddenly care who I'm seeing? Another pause. Longer this time. She could hear voices in the background, muffled but insistent. They want to use you, he finally said. To get to him. They know he's got a thing for you. If they can grab you, they got leverage. Hannah's hand started shaking. You're going to let them kidnap me? I'm trying to prevent it. That's why I'm calling. Just stay away from him and you'll be safe. Or maybe you're calling because you owe these people something and you think threatening me will help your situation. It's not like that. Then what's it like? Explain to me how my ex-boyfriend is suddenly involved with people who want to hurt me because of who I'm dating. I got into some debt, okay? After we broke up, I made some bad bets. Lost some money I didn't have. These guys offered to help me out if I did some work for them. What kind of work? Moving product. Nothing major. But then I found out they had issues with your new man. They started asking questions about you. Wanted to know if I still had access. Access? Like I'm a building you have a key to. I told them no. I told them we were done. But they don't believe me. They think I'm holding out on them. Hannah stood and started pacing her apartment. This was exactly the kind of mess Damon would get himself into. Gambling debts, shady people, and somehow, even after their relationship ended, she was still getting dragged into his drama. Who are these people? She asked. You don't need to know that. I think I do, considering they apparently want to kidnap me. Just stay away from Choi Min. That's all you need to do. And if I don't? Then I can't protect you. She laughed, but there was no humor in it. You couldn't protect me from your own lies when we were together. What makes you think you can protect me from anything now? This is different, Hannah. These people don't play. Your boy Choi Min took something from them. Money, territory, respect. They want it back, and they'll use whatever they can to get it. Before she could respond, there was a knock at her door. 3 sharp raps that made her jump. "Someone's at my door," she whispered. "Don't answer it." "What if it's them?" "Your new friends?" "They wouldn't knock, trust me on that." She crept to the door and looked through the peephole. Park, Choi Min's driver, stood in the hallway holding a coffee and a bag that looked like it came from her favorite bakery. "It's okay," she told Damon. "It's someone I know." "One of his people?" "I have to go." "Hannah, wait, please. I know I wasn't good to you, but I don't want to see you get hurt. Not like this." "Then you should have thought about that before getting involved with people who threaten innocent women." She hung up and opened the door. Park smiled at her warmly. "Good morning, Miss Brown. Mr. Choi wanted to make sure you had breakfast. He mentioned you sometimes forget to eat when you're stressed." He held out the coffee and bag. She could smell cinnamon and sugar. Her favorite pastry from the bakery 3 blocks away. The one she had mentioned exactly once in passing during a conversation about comfort foods. "Thank you," she said, taking the offerings. "Park, can I ask you something?" "Of course." "Do you know about any issues between Mr. Choi and another group? Something about territory or money?" Park's expression didn't change, but something shifted in his eyes. "Has someone contacted you?" "My ex-boyfriend just called. He said he's working with people who have problems with Choi Min. He said I might be in danger." "I see. May I come in?" She stepped aside to let him enter. Park walked through her apartment with quick, efficient movements, checking windows and examining locks. When he was satisfied, he pulled out his phone and sent a rapid series of texts. "Mr. Choi will want to know about this immediately," he said. "In the meantime, I'll be staying close by. There's a car downstairs with 2 of our people. You're safe, Miss Brown." "Our people? You mean Choi Min's organization?" "Yes. We protect what Mr. Choi values. And he values you greatly." Her phone buzzed. "Choi Min. Are you safe?" "Yes. Park is here." "I'm on my way. Do not leave your apartment." "My ex called. He said—" "I know. Park informed me. We need to talk in person." 20 minutes later, there was another knock at her door. She checked before opening it, and then Choi Min walked into her apartment, like a storm contained in human form. He was dressed differently today. Still all black, but more casual. Jeans that probably cost more than her rent. A fitted t-shirt that showed he definitely worked out. But it was his expression that caught her attention. Controlled fury radiated from him in waves. "Tell me everything," he said. She recounted the phone call while Choi Min listened, his jaw tightening with each detail. When she finished, he was quiet for a long moment. "Your ex owes money to the Tanaka clan," he finally said. "They're a Japanese organization trying to expand into my territory. They've been testing me for months. Small incursions, minor disrespect. I've been patient, but patience has limits. And now they want to use me against you. They can try." The way he said it, calm and certain, sent chills down her spine. "Damon said if I stayed away from you, I'd be safe." Choi Min's eyes flashed. "Do you want to stay away from me?" "I don't know what I want. Yesterday I found out you're a crime boss. Today I'm finding out my ex is involved with your enemies. This is a lot to process." "I understand. But Hannah, you need to know something. Now that the Tanaka clan knows about you, staying away from me won't keep you safe. It will just remove my protection. So I'm trapped." "No. You have choices. I can relocate you. New city, new identity, completely safe. Or you can stay, and I will handle this situation." "Handle it how?" "Decisively." That word again. She was starting to understand that when Choi Min said things would be handled decisively, people ended up hurt or worse. I don't want anyone killed because of me, she said. Your ex made his choices. He got into debt. He chose to work with my enemies. He chose to threaten you. These are not your responsibilities. But, no. He moved closer to her. Close enough that she had to tilt her head back to meet his eyes. You have spent years taking responsibility for other people's actions. Your ex's cheating, his lies, his failures. None of that was your fault, and neither is this. How do you know about all that? I had you researched after our first conversation. I know about the 3 times you bailed him out of jail, the money you lent him that he never repaid, the apartment you shared where only your name was on the lease because his credit was destroyed. I know how much you gave and how little you received. She should have been angry that he had investigated her. Instead, she felt oddly seen. No one had ever bothered to understand the full weight of what she had carried in that relationship. What happens now? She asked. Now I make some calls, have some conversations. Make it very clear that you are under my protection and that anyone who threatens you will face consequences. And if they don't listen, then I stop being patient. Her phone rang again, another unknown number. Choi Min held out his hand. May I? She handed him the phone. He answered and switched to speaker. Hello, Damon, he said, his voice deadly calm. There was a pause. Who is this? The man you were warning Hannah about. I understand you have concerns. Listen, man, this isn't about you. I'm just trying to keep her safe. How noble. Especially considering you're the one who put her in danger. I didn't mean for... Your intentions are irrelevant. You owe the Tanaka clan $40,000. They're using that debt to pressure you into giving them information about Hannah. Is that accurate? How do you know that? I know everything that happens in my city. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to tell your new friends that Hannah is off limits. You're going to pay your debt like a man, and you're going to disappear from her life permanently. And if I don't? Then your debt becomes my problem, and I solve problems much differently than the Tanaka clan. Are you threatening me? I'm offering you clarity. $40,000 is nothing to me. I could pay your debt right now and own you completely, or I could let the Tanaka clan deal with you and simply protect Hannah from the fallout. Or, if you continue to be a problem, I could handle you myself. You have options. Choose wisely. He hung up without waiting for a response. Hannah stared at him. You'd pay his debt? If it kept you safe? I'd pay 10 times that without blinking. That's insane, you barely know me. I know enough. Why? Why do I matter so much to you? He reached out and touched her face gently, his thumb tracing her cheekbone. Because you're the first real thing I've encountered in years. Everyone in my life wants something from me. Power, money, protection. But you? You just wanted someone to see you, to hear you, to treat you like you matter. That's worth more than $40,000. That's worth everything. She leaned into his touch despite herself. This was dangerous. He was dangerous. But God help her, she had never felt safer than she did in that moment. What if they come after me anyway? She asked. Then they'll learn why I've held this territory for a decade. The Tanaka clan thinks they can use you because they don't understand what you are to me. That's their mistake. What am I to you? He smiled, but it wasn't a happy expression. It was the smile of a predator who had just spotted prey. Mine, he said simply. And I protect what's mine. Her phone buzzed with a text from Keisha. Are you okay? Damon just called me asking for your new address. I didn't give it to him, but something felt off. Choi Min read the text and immediately pulled out his own phone. He rapid-fire sent messages in Korean, his expression growing darker with each response he received. Pack a bag, he said. You're not staying here tonight. Where am I going? My place. It's the safest location in the city. I can't just... Hannah. He caught her hands in his. I know this is fast. I know this isn't what you signed up for when you sent that text, but the Tanaka clan just mobilized their people. They're not waiting for Damon's cooperation. They're coming for you tonight. Fear shot through her like ice water. How do you know? I have eyes everywhere. We have maybe an hour before they arrive. Please, trust me. She looked into his eyes and made a decision that would change everything. Okay, she said. Let me pack. Hannah had been living in Choi Min's penthouse for 3 days, and the walls were starting to feel like they were closing in, not because she was a prisoner. He had made it clear she could leave whenever she wanted. Park would drive her anywhere. But every time she considered it, she remembered the photos Choi Min had shown her. 3 men sitting in a car outside her apartment building. 2 more at her workplace. Another at the coffee shop she frequented. All members of the Tanaka clan, all waiting for her to be alone. You're pacing again, Choi Min said from his position on the couch, not looking up from his laptop. I'm not pacing, I'm walking with purpose. You've walked with purpose past the same window 17 times in the last 10 minutes. She stopped mid-step. You're counting? I notice everything about you. The way he said it, matter of fact and without embarrassment, still caught her off guard. Damon had never noticed when she cut her hair, let alone counted her steps. I can't stay locked up here forever, she said. You're not locked up. You're protected. There's a difference. It doesn't feel different. He closed his laptop and gave her his full attention. He did that, she had noticed. When she spoke, he stopped everything else, like her words were the most important thing in his world. What would make you feel better? He asked. Going to work, seeing my friends, having a normal life that doesn't involve checking windows for Japanese gangsters. I can arrange the first 2, the third will take more time. Her phone rang before she could respond. Keisha's face appeared on the screen. Girl, where are you? Keisha demanded as soon as Hannah answered. You've been MIA for 3 days. Your job is asking questions. Your neighbor thinks you've been kidnapped. I'm safe. I'm with Choi Min. The maybe crime boss who you met 2 weeks ago? That's your definition of safe? Hannah glanced at Choi Min, who was pretending not to listen while obviously listening. It's complicated. Everything with you lately is complicated. I'm coming over. You can't. Why? Is he holding you hostage? Blink twice if you need extraction. Keisha, I'm on a voice call. You can't see me blink. Then cough twice. I'm not being held hostage, but there are some people who want to hurt me because of my association with him, so I'm staying at his place until it's handled. There was a long pause. Hannah, sweetie, do you hear yourself right now? You sound like one of those women on true crime documentaries. The ones where the best friend says, I knew something was wrong, but she said she was fine. I know how it sounds. Do you? Because from where I'm sitting, it sounds like you jumped from one dangerous man to another. Choi Min isn't Damon. You're right. Damon was just a regular cheating jerk. This guy apparently has actual enemies who want to kidnap you. That's so much better. Hannah walked to the window, looking out at the city below. Somewhere out there, the Tanaka clan was waiting. Somewhere out there, Damon was probably making more bad decisions. And here she was, hiding in a penthouse with a man who had killed people. Can you come here? She asked Keisha. I need to see a friendly face, and Choi Min says it's safe if you're brought in one of his cars. His cars? Plural? Just come, please. An hour later, Keisha walked into the penthouse with her eyes wide and her mouth slightly open. She took in the space, the view, and finally Choi Min himself, who stood when she entered like a gentleman from another era. You must be Keisha, he said, extending his hand. Hannah speaks highly of you. Keisha shook his hand slowly, suspicion written all over her face. You're prettier than I expected. Thank you? That wasn't a compliment. Pretty men are always trouble. Fair assessment. Would you like something to drink? I want to talk to my friend, alone. Choi Min nodded. Of course. I'll be in my office if you need me. He touched Hannah's shoulder gently as he passed, a casual intimacy that didn't go unnoticed by Keisha. Once he was gone, Keisha grabbed Hannah's hands and pulled her to the couch. Okay, spill. Everything. Start from the beginning and don't leave anything out. So Hannah told her. About the meeting, the revelation of what Choi Min really did, Damon's call, the Tanaka clan, all of it. Keisha listened without interrupting, her expression growing more concerned with each detail. So let me get this straight, Keisha said when Hannah finished. You're hiding from Japanese gangsters in a Korean gangster's apartment, and somehow this is supposed to be safer? When you put it like that, it sounds bad. Because it is bad. Hannah, this isn't a romance novel. This is real life with real dangerous people. I know that. Do you? Because you're looking at that man like he hung the moon and he's literally a criminal. He's protecting me from a situation that only exists because of him. That's not fair. Damon got involved with the Tanaka clan on his own. But they're only interested in you because of your connection to him. Keisha pointed toward the office where Choi Min had disappeared. None of this would be happening if you had just blocked that wrong number. She was right. Hannah knew she was right. 3 weeks ago, her biggest problem was a cheating boyfriend. Now she was caught between two criminal organizations with her safety hanging in the balance. Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. She opened it and her blood ran cold. It was a photo of her sister leaving her job at the hospital. Your sister is beautiful. Would be a shame if something happened to her. Hannah's hands started shaking. She showed the phone to Keisha, who immediately started cursing in 3 different languages. We have to call the police, Keisha said. And tell them what? That gangsters are threatening us? You think they can protect my sister better than your new boyfriend? Yes. But Hannah was already moving toward the office. She burst through the door without knocking. Choi Min looked up from his desk, saw her expression, and immediately stood. What happened? She showed him the phone. His face went completely still in a way that was more terrifying than any expression of anger would have been. They're threatening my sister, she said, her voice breaking. She has nothing to do with this. He took the phone from her hands and made a call, speaking rapid Korean. Then another call, then a third. Each conversation was brief and ended with what sounded like orders. Your sister is being picked up now, he said. My people will bring her here. She's going to be terrified. She'll be safe. That's what matters. This is escalating, Keisha said from the doorway. You said you could handle it. Choi Min's attention shifted to her. And I will. How? By starting a war? If necessary. People could die. People will die, he corrected calmly. The moment they threatened Hannah's family, they signed their death warrant. Hannah felt the room spin slightly. You can't just kill people because they sent a threatening text. Watch me. Choi Min. They crossed a line. His voice was still calm, but there was something underneath it now. Something dark and final. There are rules in our world. Families are off limits. Children are off limits. They broke those rules. So you're going to break them too? No, I'm going to end this permanently. Her phone rang. It was her sister, Nia. Hannah, what is going on? Some men just showed up at my job saying you sent them. They knew things about me, personal things. They said I had to come with them. Nia, it's okay. I did send them. Just go with them. I'll explain everything when you get here. Get where? Hannah, you're scaring me. I know, I'm sorry. Just trust me. Please. This better not have anything to do with Damon. It's complicated. Just come. She hung up and found Choi Min watching her with an unreadable expression. I need you to tell me exactly what you're planning, she said. You don't want to know. Yes, I do. If people are going to die because of me, I deserve to know. He moved closer to her, his presence filling the room. Fine. I'm going to meet with Yamamoto, the head of the Tanaka clan. I'm going to explain that his people threaten someone under my protection. Then I'm going to give him two options: withdraw from my territory permanently or face complete annihilation. And if he chooses to fight, then I'll destroy his entire operation, every member, every asset, every connection. I'll erase the Tanaka clan from existence. Keisha made a strangled sound. You're talking about mass murder. I'm talking about protection. They think Hannah is a weakness they can exploit. I need to show them she's not a weakness. She's the trigger for their destruction. I don't want that, Hannah said. I don't want to be the reason for all that death. It wouldn't be because of you. It would be because they made a choice to threaten you. That's semantics. That's reality. A knock at the door interrupted them. Park entered, followed by Nia, who looked like she was ready to fight despite being 5'2" and wearing scrubs covered in cartoon cats. Hannah, you better explain right now why I got pulled out of my shift by men in suits who look like they eat bullets for breakfast. Hannah hugged her sister tightly. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. There are some people who want to hurt me, and they threatened you to get to me. What people? Why? Nia's eyes landed on Choi Min. And who is this? Choi Min, he said, bowing slightly. I'm protecting your sister. Protecting her from what? From the consequences of her ex-boyfriend's poor decisions and my enemy's opportunism. Nia looked between Hannah and Choi Min several times. Oh my God, you're dating a gangster. We're not, it's not like that, Hannah stammered. It's exactly like that, Keisha said. Your sister accidentally sent a breakup text to a crime boss, and now she's living with him while Japanese gangsters try to kidnap her. What? It sounds worse than it is, Hannah said weakly. It sounds like a telenovela written by someone on drugs, Nia said. Hannah, what were you thinking? I wasn't thinking, I was just feeling. For the first time in years, someone made me feel like I mattered. So you picked a criminal? I didn't know he was a criminal when we started talking. But you know now, and you're still here. Hannah looked at Choi Min, who was watching their exchange with careful attention. Why was she still here? It wasn't just the danger from the Tanaka clan. She could have gone to the police, left the city, done something other than hide in his penthouse. But every time she thought about leaving, she remembered his voice on the phone, the way he listened to her, the way he saw through all her defenses to the person she really was, the way he made her feel powerful instead of pathetic. I'm still here because I choose to be, she said finally. Her phone buzzed again. Another unknown number. This time it was Damon. They're getting impatient. They want to meet. Just you. They say if you come, they'll leave your family alone. Choi Min read the message over her shoulder. It's a trap. Obviously it's a trap, Hannah said. But if it would end this... No. You don't get to tell me no. You're not meeting with them. What if I want to? Then I'll lock you in the bedroom until you come to your senses. You wouldn't dare. He leaned in close, his breath warm against her ear. Try me. Keisha cleared her throat loudly. Hello? Family members and best friends still in the room. Can you save the sexual tension for later? Hannah felt her face heat up. There's no sexual tension. Girl, please. You two have been eye-banging since I got here. Keisha! What? I'm just saying what everyone's thinking. I wasn't thinking that, Nia said. I was thinking about how to get my sister away from the very attractive but clearly dangerous man who's probably going to get her killed. I'm not going to get her killed, Choi Min said. I'm going to keep her safe, even if it means burning this entire city down. That's not reassuring, Nia said. It's not meant to be reassuring. It's meant to be honest. Another text came through, this time with a location and a time. 1 hour. Come alone, or your family pays. Choi Min made another phone call, this one longer than the others. When he hung up, his expression was grim. Yamamoto agreed to meet. 1 hour, neutral territory. You're not going alone, Hannah said. Of course not. I'll have my people positioned everywhere. I'm coming with you. Absolutely not. They're threatening me and my family. I have a right to be there. Your presence would complicate things. I don't care. They stared at each other, neither backing down. Finally, Choi Min sighed. You stay in the car with Park. You don't get out for any reason. If things go bad, Park drives you away immediately. No arguments. Fine. I mean it, Hannah. No heroics. I'm not the one planning to potentially start a gang war. It's not a war, it's pest control. Keisha grabbed Hannah's arm. Please don't do this. Any of this. Let's just call the police and let them handle it. The police can't handle this, Choi Min said. Half of them are on my payroll, and the other half are too scared to get involved. You have cops on your payroll? Naya asked, looking horrified. Judges, too, and politicians. This city runs because I allow it to run. The Tanaka clan thinks they can challenge that. They're about to learn otherwise. Hannah watched him transform before her eyes. The man who had listened to her cry about her ex was gone. In his place stood someone cold, calculating, and absolutely lethal. This was the crime boss everyone feared. This was the man who had built an empire from nothing. This was the man she was falling for, despite every logical reason not to. 1 hour, she said. Let's end this. He nodded, then turned to Park. Prepare the cars, full security detail. And Park? If anything happens to me, get Hannah and her family out of the city immediately. Yes, sir. Nothing's going to happen to you, Hannah said. He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. In my world, Hannah, something always happens. The trick is making sure it happens to the other person first. The warehouse district at midnight looked like something out of a nightmare. Shadows stretched between buildings like grasping fingers, and the air smelled of rust and rain. Hannah sat in the back of the bulletproof car, her hands clenched so tightly her nails left crescents in her palms. You should have stayed at the penthouse, Park said from the driver's seat, his eyes constantly scanning their surroundings. Would you have stayed behind if someone you cared about was walking into danger? Park's lips twitched in what might have been a smile. No, Miss Brown, I would not. Through the tinted windows, she watched Choi Min exit another car 50 yards ahead. He moved with absolute confidence, flanked by 6 men who looked like they could bench press small buildings. They were all dressed in black, moving in perfect synchronization like a military unit. How many people does he have here? She asked. 43, Park answered without hesitation. Snipers on the roofs, ground teams at every exit, plus me with you. 43 people for one meeting? Mr. Choi doesn't take chances with things he values. Her phone buzzed, a text from Keisha, who was back at the penthouse with Nia under guard. This is insane. You're sitting in a car in the middle of a potential gang war. Your life has become an action movie. She wasn't wrong. 3 weeks ago, Hannah's biggest concern was whether to get Chinese or Thai takeout for dinner. Now she was watching the man she was falling for walk into a meeting that could end in bloodshed. Another text, this one from Damon. I see you. You actually came. You shouldn't be here. Her blood ran cold. She scanned the darkness but couldn't see anything beyond the immediate ring of streetlights. Park, Damon just texted. He says he can see me. Park's demeanor shifted instantly. He spoke rapidly into his earpiece in Korean, then started the engine. We're moving, now. But before he could put the car in gear, figures emerged from the shadows. A lot of figures. They moved to surround the meeting point where Choi Min had just disappeared into a building. That's more than the Tanaka clan should have, Park muttered. He spoke into his earpiece again, more urgently this time. Hannah watched in horror as the situation unfolded. The Tanaka clan hadn't come to negotiate. They had come for war. We have to warn him, she said. He knows. Our spotters caught the movement. Mr. Choi is never unprepared. As if to prove his point, more figures materialized from concealed positions. Choi Min's people, revealing themselves. The two groups faced off in the dim light, a powder keg waiting for a spark. Then she saw him. Damon, standing near a van about 30 yards from her car. He was fidgeting, looking nervous and out of place among the hardened criminals surrounding him. Their eyes met through the window, and she saw him mouth the word, "sorry." The warehouse door burst open. Choi Min emerged, his face a mask of cold fury. Behind him, an older Japanese man who must have been Yamamoto followed at gunpoint, held by two of Choi Min's men. "Trap?" Choi Min's voice carried in the still night air. "You thought you could trap me in my own city?" Yamamoto spit at Choi Min's feet. "You've grown soft, distracted by a woman. Your father would be ashamed." "My father is dead, and you're about to join him. Kill me, and you start a war with every Japanese clan on the coast." "Then I guess I better make sure there are no witnesses." The tension ratcheted up another notch. Fingers moved to triggers. The air itself seemed to hold its breath. Then Damon did something monumentally stupid. He broke from his position and ran toward Hannah's car, shouting her name. Everything happened at once. The Tanaka soldiers interpreted his movement as an attack and opened fire. Choi Min's people responded instantly. The night erupted in gunfire and chaos. "Get down!" Park shouted, throwing the car into reverse. Hannah dropped to the floor as windows shattered above her. The bulletproof glass held, but spiderweb cracks spread across the surface. She could hear bullets pinging off the reinforced panels. Through the chaos, she heard Choi Min's voice, steady and commanding, directing his people. The man was in the middle of a firefight, and he sounded like he was conducting a business meeting. The car lurched to a stop. Park cursed in Korean. "They blocked our exit. Stay down." She heard him exit the vehicle, heard more gunfire, closer now. Her heart hammered against her ribs. This was it. This was how she was going to die. In the back of a car because she had sent a breakup text to the wrong number. The door beside her was yanked open. She looked up, expecting to see death, and instead found Choi Min. His pristine black shirt was torn, and there was blood on his face that she didn't think was his. "Are you hurt?" He pulled her from the car, his hands running over her, checking for injuries. I'm okay, what about you?" "Fine. We need to move. Now." He half carried, half dragged her to another vehicle, using his body to shield hers. She could hear bullets whizzing past, could smell gunpowder and blood. This was madness. Absolute madness. They dove into the new car just as an explosion rocked the warehouse behind them. The blast wave shattered windows for blocks, and fire began to spread through the building. "Was that us?" she gasped. "Insurance policy," Choi Min said, "in case negotiations went poorly." "People were in there! People who tried to kill you." The car screeched away from the scene, joining a convoy of similar vehicles. Through the back window, Hannah could see the warehouse district lit up like a war zone. Police sirens wailed in the distance, but they seemed to be taking their time arriving. "Damon," she said suddenly. "What happened to Damon?" Choi Min's jaw tightened. "He made his choice." "Is he dead?" "I don't know. I don't care. He led you into an ambush." "I don't think he knew. He looked surprised when the shooting started." "Ignorance isn't innocence." They drove in tense silence for several minutes. Hannah's hands wouldn't stop shaking. She had just witnessed a battle. People had died. She had almost died. "I'm sorry," Choi Min said suddenly. "For what?" "You should never have been there. I should have handled this differently." "You couldn't have known they would ambush you." "I should have anticipated it. Yamamoto was desperate. Desperate men do stupid things." "Is he dead?" "Yes." The simple word hung between them. No emotion, no regret, just a fact. "How many others?" "Does it matter?" "Yes, it matters to me." He looked at her then, really looked at her. 17 of theirs, 3 of mine. Would have been more if we hadn't been prepared. 20 people. 20 people were dead because of a chain of events that started with her mistyped phone number. "This is my fault," she whispered. "No." He gripped her chin, forcing her to meet his eyes. "This was always going to happen. The Tanaka clan has been pushing for months. You were just the excuse they used to make their move. But, no buts. They made their choice. They threatened you. They threatened your family. They got what they deserved." Her phone rang. "Keisha." "We just saw the news," Keisha screamed through the speaker. "There's footage of explosions and gunfire in the warehouse district. Please tell me you're not dead." "I'm not dead." "Is he dead?" "No." "Is anyone dead?" Hannah looked at Choi Min. "Yes." "Oh my God. Oh my God. This is insane. You need to come back right now. Nia is having a panic attack." "We're on our way." She hung up and found Choi Min watching her with an unreadable expression. "You can leave," he said quietly. "After tonight, no one will threaten you again. The Tanaka clan is finished. You can go back to your life." "My life? You mean the life where I work a dead-end job and date men who don't value me? The life where people don't try to kill you. That happened because of Damon, not you. It happened because you're connected to me. That will always make you a target." She studied his face in the passing streetlights. This beautiful, dangerous man who had turned her world upside down. He was offering her an out, a chance to walk away and pretend none of this had happened. "What if I don't want to leave?" she asked. "Then you need to understand what you're choosing. This won't be the last time someone challenges me. There will be other threats, other violence. This is my world, Hannah. It's dark and bloody and unforgiving. But you're in it. That's not enough reason to stay, isn't it? You make me feel alive. You make me feel powerful. You see me in a way no one ever has. That's worth some danger. You say that now, but you just watched people die. People who were trying to kill me. And you're okay with that?" She thought about it. Really thought about it. Was she okay with violence? With death? With a life that would never be normal? "I'm okay with you protecting me," she said finally. "I'm okay with you protecting my family. I'm okay with you doing what needs to be done to keep us safe. Even if what needs to be done is terrible?" "You're not terrible. You're necessary." He laughed, but it was bitter. "That's the first time anyone has called me necessary. What do others call you? Monster, killer, demon. Take your pick. I call you mine." The words hung between them, bold and irreversible. She had claimed him just as he had claimed her. He pulled her against him, his hand tangling in her hair. "Say that again." "You're mine, Choi Min, and I'm yours. Whatever that means, whatever comes with it, we face it together." He kissed her then, hard and desperate, like he was trying to breathe her in. She tasted blood and gunpowder and something uniquely him. It should have been terrifying. Instead, it felt like coming home. When they broke apart, both breathing hard, he rested his forehead against hers. "This isn't a fairy tale," he warned. "I don't want a fairy tale. I had 3 years of someone pretending to be Prince Charming. I'll take the honest monster over the lying prince any day." "I'm not a monster." "No? Then what are you?" "Yours," he said simply. "Whatever else I am, I'm yours." The convoy pulled into the underground garage of his building. As they exited the car, Hannah saw the full extent of the night's damage. Several of Choi Min's men bore injuries. Park had a gash on his forehead. Everyone looked like they had been through hell. But they all straightened when Choi Min appeared, respect and loyalty clear in their faces. These men would die for him, kill for him. And now, apparently, they would do the same for her. "Miss Brown," one of them said, bowing slightly, "we're glad you're safe." She didn't know what to say to that. "Thank you for risking your life for me? Sorry you had to kill people because of me?" Choi Min seemed to sense her discomfort. He placed a hand on her lower back, guiding her to the elevator. Go rest. We'll debrief in the morning. The ride up to the penthouse was silent. When the doors opened, Keisha and Nia practically tackled her. You're bleeding! Nia exclaimed, pointing to a cut on Hannah's arm she hadn't even noticed. It's nothing. Nothing? You were in a shootout. That's not nothing. Are you going to lecture me or hug me? Both of them hugged her tightly, and for a moment Hannah felt the weight of everything crash down on her. She had almost died tonight. Her sister had almost lost her. Her best friend had almost attended her funeral. I'm sorry, she whispered. I'm so sorry I dragged you into this. You didn't drag us anywhere, Keisha said firmly. We're your people. Where you go, we go. Even if where you go is into the arms of a very pretty crime boss. He is pretty, Nia admitted grudgingly. In a dangerous, probably kill you in your sleep kind of way. He wouldn't kill me in my sleep. He'd want me to see it coming. That's not reassuring, both women said in unison. Hannah laughed, actually laughed, despite everything. I know, none of this is normal or safe or smart, but it's mine, he's mine, and I'm keeping him. Keisha and Naya exchanged glances. Well, Keisha said, I guess we better learn Korean then. If you're going to be a crime boss's girlfriend, we need to know when his people are talking about us. You're not going to try to talk me out of it? Would you listen if we did? No. Then we might as well support you. But if he hurts you, crime boss or not, we'll end him. Hannah looked across the room to where Choi Min stood by the window, phone pressed to his ear, still managing the aftermath of tonight's violence. He caught her eye and something softened in his expression. He won't hurt me, she said with absolute certainty. He'd burn down the world first. That's what we're afraid of, Naya muttered. But Hannah wasn't afraid. Not anymore. She had made her choice. She had crossed the line from her old life into something new, something dangerous, something real. She walked over to Choi Min, who ended his call as she approached. It's handled, he said. The Tanaka clan is retreating. They won't challenge us again. And Damon? Alive, in the hospital. He'll recover. Good. Good? He nearly got you killed. He's an idiot, not evil. There's a difference. You're too forgiving. And you're not forgiving enough. Balance. That's what we bring each other. He pulled her against him, and she could feel the tension slowly leaving his body. I thought I lost you tonight, he admitted quietly. When I heard the gunfire near your car, I thought, but you didn't lose me. I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere. Promise? I already did. You're mine, remember? And I protect what's mine too. He smiled then, a real smile that transformed his face from dangerous to devastating. My warrior queen, he murmured. Your queen? I haven't even been here a week. Time is irrelevant. You conquered me the moment you sent that text. The text that went to the wrong number? The text that went to exactly the right number. She kissed him then, soft and sure, a promise of everything to come. When they broke apart, the sun was starting to rise over the city, painting the sky in shades of gold and pink. A new day, a new life, a new world, all because she had typed a 9 instead of a 7, 6 months. It had been 6 months since Hannah Brown sent a breakup text to the wrong number and accidentally started a gang war. 6 months since she chose a dangerous man over a safe life. 6 months of learning what it meant to be with someone like Choi Min. She stood in front of the mirror in their bedroom, adjusting the emerald green dress he had bought her for tonight's event. It cost more than she used to make in 2 months at her old job, the job she had quit 3 months ago when it became clear that having regular hours was incompatible with Choi Min's world. You look perfect, his voice came from behind her. She met his eyes in the mirror. He was in a tuxedo, looking like he had stepped out of a magazine spread about dangerously attractive men who definitely had bodies in their basements. "It's too much," she said, gesturing to the dress. "This is supposed to be a charity gala, not a coronation. It's our first public event together. Everyone will be watching. They need to see that you belong." "I don't need a dress to prove I belong." "No, but the dress doesn't hurt." He moved behind her, his hands settling on her waist. "Besides, I like seeing you in beautiful things. You like seeing me out of them more." "Also true." She turned in his arms, looking up at him. "Are you sure about this? Going public? Once everyone knows about us, there's no taking it back." "Are you having second thoughts?" "No, I just want to make sure you've thought this through. Dating me publicly makes you look human, vulnerable, soft, all of the above." He cupped her face in his hands. "Let them think I've gone soft. They'll learn otherwise when they test me. And someone will test you. Someone always does. But now they'll have to factor you into their calculations. The woman who survived the Tanaka clan, the woman who stood beside me during the warehouse massacre, the woman who tamed the demon of the city." "I didn't tame you." "No? Then what did you do?" She thought about it. What had she done? She hadn't changed him. He was still the same dangerous man who had responded to her misdirected text. He still ran his empire with an iron fist, still made decisions that would terrify normal people. But he was also the man who brought her coffee every morning exactly how she liked it, who listened to her complain about her sister's dating life, who held her when nightmares about the warehouse shooting woke her up. "I didn't tame you," she said finally. "I just gave you something worth coming home to." His kiss was answer enough. A knock at the door interrupted them. Park entered, looking apologetic. "The car is ready, sir. And Miss Brown, your sister and friend are already at the venue." "You invited Keisha and Nia?" Hannah asked, surprised. "You wanted them there." "Of course I invited them. They're going to be so out of place at a high society charity gala." "They're your people. That makes them untouchable. Anyone who makes them feel unwelcome will answer to me." This was why she loved him. Not the money or the power or the danger, but the way he understood what mattered to her and protected it without question. The ride to the venue was quiet. Hannah could feel Choi Min's tension despite his calm exterior. This was a big step. For 3 years, he had kept his private life completely separate from his public persona. Tonight, that changed. "You know people will talk," she said. "People always talk. They'll say you're with me because I'm exotic, a black woman to add to your collection of dangerous things." His hand found hers. "And what will you say?" "That they're right. I am exotic. I am dangerous. And I am definitely yours. That's my queen." The venue was the city's most exclusive hotel, the kind of place where rooms started at $1,000 a night, and the water was probably infused with gold or something equally ridiculous. Media lined the entrance, cameras flashing as the city's elite arrived. When their car pulled up, the crowd seemed to hold its breath. Choi Min exited first, then turned to help Hannah out. The moment she appeared, the cameras went crazy. She could hear the whispers starting already. "Who is she? Is that Choi Min's girlfriend?" "She's gorgeous." "She's black." That last one made her spine straighten. She had known it would come up. In all his years in the public eye, Choi Min had never been seen with a black woman, or any woman publicly for that matter. But he heard it too. His hand tightened on hers, and he turned to face the crowd. The look in his eyes was enough to silence the whispers. Then, deliberately, he raised her hand to his lips and kissed it, maintaining eye contact with the cameras the entire time. Message received. She was his, and anyone who had a problem with that could take it up with him personally. Inside, the ballroom was decorated in gold and crystal, making everything sparkle like a fairy tale. Hannah spotted Keisha and Nia immediately. They stood near the bar looking simultaneously overwhelmed and defiant, both dressed in gowns Choi Min had apparently arranged for them. "Your friends," he murmured. "Go. I have people to threaten politely." She made her way over to them, grabbing a glass of champagne from a passing waiter. "Girl," Keisha said as soon as she was close enough, "this place is insane. That woman over there is wearing a necklace worth more than my student loans. And that man over there keeps staring at us like we're animals in a zoo," Nia added, glaring at someone across the room. Hannah followed her gaze to find an older Korean man watching them with barely concealed disdain. She recognized him from Choi Min's files. Mr. Park, a businessman who had been trying to form an alliance with Choi Min for years. "Ignore him," Hannah said. "Easy for you to say. You belong here now." "I don't belong here any more than you do. I just have a very dangerous boyfriend who makes people pretend I do." "About that?" Keisha said. "How are you really? And don't give me the 'I'm fine' brush off. You witnessed a literal massacre 6 months ago." Hannah considered lying. It would be easier. But these were her people. They deserved honesty. "Some nights I wake up and can still smell the gunpowder," she admitted. "Sometimes I look at Min and remember watching him order those deaths without flinching. It's not easy. It's not normal." "But," Naya prompted, "but I love him. Not despite what he is, but including it. He's violent and dangerous and probably qualifies as a sociopath by most definitions. He's also the first person who ever made me feel like I was worth protecting, worth choosing, worth burning down the world for." "That's intense," Keisha said. "Everything with him is intense." "And you're okay with that? The intensity? The danger? The fact that you can never have a normal life?" "I had normal. I had safe. It got me cheated on and disrespected for 3 years. I'll take intense and dangerous over normal, any day." Before either of them could respond, Choi Min appeared at her elbow. "We have a problem," he said quietly. She followed his gaze to the entrance, where a group of men had just arrived. She didn't recognize them, but from the way the crowd parted, they were important. "Who are they?" "The Pak family. They run the Southern Territories. They weren't invited." "Is that bad?" "It's either very bad or very interesting." The leader of the group, a man in his 60s with silver hair and cold eyes, made his way directly toward them. The crowd watched with the kind of attention usually reserved for car crashes. "Choi Min," the man said in accented English. "I heard you had taken a woman. I had to see for myself." "Mr. Pak," Choi Min replied, his voice carefully neutral. "I wasn't aware you were in the city. I made a special trip." His eyes shifted to Hannah. "So this is the woman who caused the warehouse incident." "I caused nothing," Hannah said before Choi Min could respond. "The Tanaka clan caused it when they threatened my family." Mr. Pak's eyebrows rose. "She speaks. How refreshing. Most women in our world know their place." "My place is wherever I choose it to be." "Careful, girl. That attitude might serve you well with young Choi here, but others are not so progressive. Then others can deal with their disappointment." There was a moment of tense silence. Then Mr. Pak laughed, a harsh sound like breaking glass. "I like her," he said to Choi Min. "She has spirit. The question is whether that spirit will get you killed or make you stronger." "I guess we'll find out." "Indeed we will. The families are watching, Choi. A public girlfriend is a public weakness, especially one so unconventional." "Unconventional," Hannah repeated. "That's a polite way of saying black. If you prefer directness, yes. You're black. You're American. You're not from our world. You're everything a proper Korean crime family would reject." "Good thing Min doesn't run a proper crime family then." "No, he doesn't. Which is why he's been so successful, and why so many want to see him fall." Choi Min stepped forward slightly, a subtle movement that somehow changed the entire dynamic. Anyone who moves against her moves against me. Make sure the families understand that. Oh, they understand. The question is whether they care. The Tanaka clan understood too, and look where they are now. Exactly where anyone who threatens her will end up. Mr. Pak studied them both for a long moment. You would burn it all down for her? I already did once. I'll do it as many times as necessary. Love makes fools of powerful men. And power makes fools of loveless ones. Another laugh from Mr. Pak. Perhaps. We shall see. He turned to Hannah. You have no idea what you've started, young woman. This world had rules, order, predictability. You've disrupted all of that. Good, Hannah said. Your world needed disrupting. Bold words. Let's hope you live long enough to see if you're right. He walked away, his entourage following. The crowd slowly resumed their conversations, but Hannah could feel the weight of their stares. That went well, she said sarcastically. Actually, it did, Choi Min replied. He didn't threaten you directly. In our world, that's practically a blessing. The bar is so low it's underground. Welcome to organized crime. The rest of the evening passed in a blur of introductions, veiled threats, and careful political maneuvering. Hannah met judges, politicians, business owners, all of whom had some connection to Choi Min's world. Some were welcoming, others were cold, a few were openly hostile. But every time someone looked at her with disdain, Choi Min was there, a hand on her back, a sharp word to the offender, a reminder that she was under his protection. It should have made her feel weak, needing his protection. Instead, it made her feel powerful. She was the woman who had captured the demon of the city, the woman he would kill for without hesitation. As the evening wound down, Damon appeared. Hannah hadn't seen him since the warehouse incident. He looked different, thinner, older. The cockiness that had always defined him was gone, replaced by something hollow. Hannah, he said, approaching carefully. Can we talk? Choi Min tensed beside her, but she placed a hand on his arm. It's okay. Give us a minute. He didn't look happy about it, but he stepped away, though not far enough that he couldn't intervene if needed. You look good, Damon said. Different. More yourself, if that makes sense. It does. You look terrible. He laughed bitterly. Yeah, well, nearly dying does that to a person. What do you want, Damon? To apologize. For everything. Not just the warehouse, but before. The cheating, the lying, the way I treated you. Why now? Because I almost died. Because I saw what real power looks like that night, and realized I had spent 3 years pretending I was something I wasn't. I was never going to be the man you deserved. No, you weren't. But he is? Damon nodded toward Choi Min. A crime boss is what you deserve? He sees me, the real me, not some idea of what I should be or what he can get from me. Just me. And that's enough? Even with all the danger? It's everything. Damon was quiet for a moment. I heard what he did to the guys who threatened your sister. What was left of them had to be identified by DNA. They made their choice. You've changed. No, I've just stopped pretending to be weak. You were never weak. I was with you. That hurt him. She could see it in his eyes. But it was true, and she was done softening truth for his comfort. I should go, he said. I just wanted to say sorry. And to tell you that despite everything, I'm glad you're happy, even if it's with him. He walked away, and Hannah felt something close in her chest. The last tie to her old life, severed. Choi Min returned to her side immediately. You okay? Yeah, just closing a chapter. And opening another? She looked around the ballroom. These people, this world, it would never fully accept her. She would always be the outsider who disrupted their order. There would always be someone plotting against them, someone who saw her as Choi Min's weakness. But she had him. She had Keisha and Nia. She had Park and the men who had become oddly protective of her. She had a new life that was dangerous and uncertain, and absolutely nothing like what she had planned. Not just opening another chapter, she said, taking his hand. Writing a whole new book. What kind of book? The kind where the girl gets the dangerous guy and keeps him. Where love is worth the risk. Where power isn't about being perfect, but about being real. Sounds like a bestseller. Or a tragedy. Never. I don't do tragedies, only victories. As they prepared to leave, Mr. Park from earlier approached one more time. You know this won't last, he said to Hannah, not bothering with politeness. He'll tire of you, or you'll get killed. Either way, you're temporary. Before Choi Min could respond, Hannah stepped forward. You know what? You might be right. Maybe I am temporary. Maybe this ends badly. Maybe I die young and tragic. But right now, in this moment, I have something you'll never have. And what's that? Someone who would burn down the entire world for me. Can you say the same? His silence was answer enough. As they walked out of the ballroom, Choi Min pulled her close. You know I would, right? Burn it all down for you? I know, but you won't have to. No? No, because we're going to build something better. Together. The cameras flashed as they exited, capturing the moment. The crime boss and his queen, the danger and the choice. The new world they were creating, one broken rule at a time. In the car, Hannah's phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. But this time she wasn't afraid. Whatever came next, whoever challenged them, she was ready. She had sent a breakup text to the wrong number 6 months ago. It was the best mistake she had ever made. What is it? Choi Min asked, noticing her smile. She showed him the phone. The message was simple. Wrong number. Someone else had made the same mistake she had. Someone else was standing at the crossroads between safe and dangerous, between known and unknown. Should I respond? She asked. That's your choice. She thought about it. Thought about how one wrong text had changed everything. How a stranger's response had led her to this moment, in this car, with this man who would indeed burn down the world for her. She typed back, there are no wrong numbers, only unexpected destinations. Then she turned off her phone and kissed the man who had answered her misdirected pain with an invitation to something more. The city lights blurred past the windows as they headed home. Not to her apartment or his penthouse, but to their home. The place they were building together in the spaces between legal and illegal, safe and dangerous, normal and extraordinary. Hannah Brown had sent a breakup text to the wrong number. Choi Min had replied. Everything else was still being written, but one thing was certain. Their story was far from over. It had just begun, 1 year later. Hannah stood on the terrace of their new home, watching the sun set over the city. Not the penthouse anymore they had moved 3 months ago to a sprawling estate on the outskirts, complete with gates, guards, and gardens that reminded her of something from a fairy tale. A fairy tale with automatic weapons and a panic room, but still. You're thinking too hard again, Choi Min said, wrapping his arms around her from behind. I'm thinking the right amount. About what? About how a girl from Atlanta ended up as the unofficial queen of Korean organized crime in New York. Unofficial? She turned in his arms, eyebrow raised. Unless there's a ceremony I don't know about? Don't tempt me. I would absolutely throw you a coronation. Please don't. It would be tasteful. Minimal bloodshed. The fact that you have to specify minimal bloodshed is exactly why we're not doing that. He kissed her forehead, a gesture that had become as natural as breathing. The dangerous crime boss who made grown men tremble was absolutely soft for her, and everyone knew it. Which, according to Park, made him even more terrifying. Fear makes men predictable, Park had explained. Love makes them capable of anything. Her phone rang. Keisha's face appeared on the screen. Are you sitting down? Keisha asked without preamble. Should I be? Probably. You know that guy Marcus I've been seeing? The investment banker? Yeah, about that. Turns out he's not an investment banker. Hannah felt Choi Min stiffen behind her. What is he? FBI. He's fucking FBI, Hannah. I've been dating a federal agent for 3 months. Oh shit. Oh shit is right. He just told me. Said he couldn't keep lying because he's falling for me. Can you believe this? Me? Dating a Fed while my best friend is married to… She caught herself. While my best friend is with a businessman. They weren't married. Not legally. Legal marriages left paper trails, and in Choi Min's world, paper trails were dangerous. But they'd had a ceremony 6 months ago, private and perfect, with only their closest people present. In every way that mattered, they were bound. What are you going to do? Hannah asked. I don't know. He says he's not investigating anything related to your boyfriend. Says he's in financial crimes, not organized crime. But how can I trust that? You can't, Choi Min said, loud enough for Keisha to hear. End it, now. Is that an order from the king? Keisha asked sarcastically. It's advice from someone who doesn't want to see you get hurt or used. He wouldn't use me. He's FBI. Using people is literally his job. There was silence on the other end. Then Keisha sighed. I really liked him. I know, Hannah said softly. I'm sorry. Yeah, well, apparently I have a type. Complicated men with dangerous jobs. At least your dangerous man is honest about it. After she hung up, Hannah looked at Choi Min. We need to be careful. We're always careful. More careful. If the FBI is sniffing around, even indirectly, I'll handle it. Without violence. You take all the fun out of everything. Min. Fine, I'll handle it delicately. Happy? Ecstatic. Her phone buzzed with a text from Nia. Family dinner Sunday, I'm bringing someone. Your sister is dating again, she told Choi Min. Background check? Absolutely, but make it subtle. I'm always subtle. You had her last boyfriend followed by 3 men. That's subtle. He never noticed. He broke up with her because he thought he was losing his mind seeing the same faces everywhere. Which proved he wasn't good enough for her. A worthy man would have confronted them. She couldn't really argue with that logic, twisted as it was. The doorbell rang, which was unusual. Most visitors were expected and announced by the gate security. Choi Min immediately went on alert, his hand moving to the gun she knew he kept hidden beneath his jacket. But when they checked the security monitor, it was just a delivery driver with a small package. Were you expecting something? He asked. No. He made a call, brief, in Korean. Then he relaxed slightly. It's clear. Passed all security checks. The package was addressed to her. Inside was a single letter and a USB drive. The letter was from Damon. Hannah, by the time you read this, I'll be gone. Witness protection. Turns out the FBI was very interested in what I knew about the Tanaka clan and their operations. I made a deal. Testified. Now I get a new life somewhere far from New York. The USB has something I thought you should see. Security footage from that night at the warehouse, not the violence, you don't need to relive that. But after. There's something you should know. I know I have no right to ask, but be careful. Your man isn't just dangerous, he's obsessed. And obsession can look like love until it doesn't. D. She looked at Choi Min, who was reading over her shoulder. His expression was unreadable. Are you going to watch it? He asked. Should I? That's your choice. But I have nothing to hide from you. She plugged the USB into her laptop. The footage was grainy but clear enough. It showed the aftermath of the warehouse fight. Bodies being removed. Police arriving, and then Choi Min, standing alone, covered in blood, speaking to someone on the phone. The audio was faint but audible. No survivors from the Tanaka leadership, make sure of it. And find anyone who might have seen Hannah there. Pay them or threaten them, I don't care which. Her name stays out of this. The footage jumped to another scene. Choi Min in what looked like a police station, handing an envelope to a detective. The official report shows the Tanaka clan attacked each other. Internal conflict. Ms. Brown was never there. Are we clear? Crystal, the detective replied. Another jump. Choi Min with Mr. Park from the gala. She cannot know the extent of what I've done to protect her, Choi Min was saying. The three men who saw her at the warehouse, the journalist who was asking questions, the federal agent who got too close, all handled. She would not understand. She might, Mr. Park replied. She's stronger than you think. She's everything, and I will do whatever it takes to keep her safe, even if it means lying to her. The video ended. Hannah sat in silence for a long moment. Then she looked at Choi Min, who was watching her with those dark eyes that had captivated her from the beginning. 3 men? She asked quietly. A journalist? A federal agent? They're not dead, he said quickly. The men were relocated, paid to disappear. The journalist received a better job offer in London. The federal agent was transferred after some compromising photos surfaced. Photos you arranged? Yes. You've been controlling everything around me, managing my reality like I'm a character in a story you're writing. I've been protecting you. By lying to me. By not telling you things that would hurt you unnecessarily. She stood up, needing space. He didn't follow, which she appreciated. What else? She asked. What else have you done that I don't know about? Your raise at your old job. The man who harassed you at the coffee shop who suddenly moved away. The landlord who tried to illegally evict your neighbor. All handled. You've been playing God with my life. I've been loving you the only way I know how, by removing obstacles and threats. That's not love. That's control. Isn't love always about control? Wanting to control the outcome? To guarantee happiness? To prevent pain? No. Love is about trust. About letting someone make their own choices, even if those choices might hurt them. I couldn't do that. I couldn't stand by and watch you get hurt. So you decided for me, made choices for me, manipulated my world without my knowledge or consent. Yes. At least he wasn't denying it. That was something. I need time, she said. To think. Are you leaving? I don't know. For the first time since she'd known him, Choi Min looked genuinely afraid. Hannah. You promised me honesty. You promised me you were different from Damon. But you've been lying just like he did. Different lies, maybe. Lies of omission instead of commission, but still lies. I never lied about my feelings for you. How can I know that? How can I trust anything now? He moved toward her, then stopped when she stepped back. Because I'm standing here letting you see it all. Damon sent that video to break us apart, but I could have destroyed it before you saw it. I could have denied everything, made you think he doctored it, but I didn't. You want credit for not lying about your lies? I want you to understand that everything I did was from love, obsessive, controlling, probably unhealthy love, but love nonetheless. Her phone rang. Keisha. Marcus just told me something else, her friend said, sounding shaken. He says Choi Min had him assigned to me, to keep tabs on you through me. He's been reporting on us this whole time. Hannah looked at Choi Min, who had clearly heard. He didn't deny it. Not Marcus, he said. Marcus is real FBI, but I have someone in his department who's been monitoring his reports, making sure nothing about you appeared in them. You've been spying on my best friend. I've been protecting you both. Stop saying that. Stop using protection as an excuse for manipulation. She hung up on Keisha and grabbed her keys. Where are you going? Away from you. I need to think without you standing there looking at me with those eyes that make me forget why I'm angry. Hannah, please. If you follow me, we're done. If you have me followed, we're done. Give me the space I'm asking for, or lose me forever. Your choice. She left him standing there, looking more vulnerable than she'd ever seen him. the demon of the city, brought low by the possibility of losing her. Good. He should suffer a little. He should understand what it felt like to have control taken away. She drove to Nia's apartment, needing her sister's brutal honesty. Nia opened the door, took one look at her face, and pulled her inside. What did he do? He protected me, obsessively, controllingly, without my knowledge or consent. So he's exactly who we always knew he was? I thought he was different. I thought what we had was different. It is different. Damon lied to hurt you. Choi Min lies to protect you. That's not the same thing. A lie is a lie. Is it? If someone was planning to hurt me and Choi Min handled it without telling you, would you be angry? That's different. How? Hannah didn't have a good answer for that. Look, Nia continued, I'm not defending him. The man is clearly unhinged when it comes to you. But ask yourself this. Would you rather have someone who lies about caring, or someone who cares so much they can't help but try to control everything? Those can't be my only options. In your world, they might be. Her phone had been buzzing non-stop. Messages from Choi Min. She didn't read them, but the last one made her look. It was a photo. Security footage from her old apartment, dated the night she sent the wrong number text. It showed her ex, Damon, with another woman. The timestamp was exactly when she had been typing her breakup message. The next text explained, I've had this since our second conversation. I had you investigated, remember? I could have sent it to you any time. Could have used it to turn you against him faster, to make you trust me more. But I didn't. Because even then, before I knew I loved you, I knew you deserved to make your own choices about him. I'm capable of respecting your autonomy. I just need to learn when. She stared at the message for a long time. Another text. I will do better. I will be better. But I will never stop protecting you. I will never stop putting your safety first. If that's not something you can accept, I understand. But it's who I am. A final text. You are my conscience, Hannah. Without you, I'm just a monster with money and power. With you, I'm a man trying to deserve something good. Please come home. Let me prove I can be what you need. Nia read the messages over her shoulder. That's either the most romantic thing I've ever seen or the most manipulative. Both. It's both. And you love him anyway. I do. God help me, I do. Then go home, but set boundaries. Make rules. Make him understand that protection without communication is just another form of control. Hannah drove back slowly, thinking about what she would say, how she would make this work, because she was going to make it work. She had come too far, survived too much, to give up now. When she walked into their home, Choi Min was exactly where she'd left him, standing in the same spot, still as a statue, as if moving might somehow make her decision for her. Rules, she said without preamble. We're going to have rules. Anything. No more handling things without telling me. If someone is a threat, we discuss it together. Agreed. No more surveillance on my friends and family without my knowledge. Agreed. And therapy, couples therapy, with someone who won't be scared of you. That might be hard to find. Then we'll keep looking until we find them. Agreed. She moved closer to him, close enough to see the relief flooding his features. I'm not going to become someone else for you, she said. I'm not going to become okay with violence and manipulation just because I love you. I don't want you to. Your goodness is what makes me want to be better. And I need you to actually be better, not just want it. I will. I promise. Don't promise. Just do it. He reached for her then, slowly, giving her time to pull away. She didn't. She let him pull her against him, let herself sink into his familiar warmth. I thought I lost you, he whispered into her hair. You almost did. What made you come back? The realization that you're exactly who you've always been. I just chose to see only the parts I wanted to. That's on me as much as you. I will earn your trust again. You will. Or I'll leave for real next time. There won't be a next time. She pulled back to look at him. Min, there will always be a next time. You're who you are. Controlling is in your nature. The goal isn't to change that. It's to channel it better. Channel it how? By including me. By making me your partner, not your protected possession. You were never a possession. No, but you treated me like one. Something to be guarded and managed and kept safe at all costs. Because you're precious to me. I'm not precious. I'm powerful. There's a difference. He smiled then, the dangerous smile that still made her stomach flip. Yes, you are powerful, more powerful than you know. Then treat me like it. I will. They stood there, holding each other, as the sun finished setting over the city. City, their empire, their complicated, dangerous, imperfect life together. Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Wrong number, sorry. She showed it to Choi Min, who laughed. Another beginning, he said, or ending. Not everyone who texts a wrong number finds what we found. No, we're unique. Uniquely dysfunctional. Uniquely perfect. She kissed him then, pouring all her frustration and love and hope into it. When they broke apart, both breathing hard, she made a decision. We're going to tell our story. What? Not the illegal parts, but our story. How we met, how we fell in love despite everything, how we're making it work. Why? Because somewhere out there is another woman accepting less than she deserves, another person afraid to take a chance on something unconventional. If our story helps even one person choose themselves, choose something more, then it's worth it. You want to inspire people with the story of how you fell in love with a crime boss? I want to inspire people with the story of how I chose myself. You were just a very attractive bonus. He laughed, really laughed, and she felt the last of her anger dissolve. They weren't perfect. They would never be perfect. He would always be too controlling. She would always push boundaries. There would be more fights, more lies uncovered, more threats to navigate. But they would face them together. The girl who sent a breakup text to the wrong number, the crime boss who answered, and the love that grew in the space between legal and illegal, safe and dangerous, sane and absolutely insane. It wasn't a fairy tale. It was better. It was real. Her phone buzzed again. Keisha. Marcus says he's willing to quit the FBI for me. Is he insane? Hannah looked at Choi Min. Keisha's FBI boyfriend wants to quit for her. Good. Love should require sacrifice. Should it? From both sides, equal sacrifice, equal commitment, equal insanity. We're definitely equal on the insanity part. Perfect. That's all that matters. As she typed back to Keisha, Hannah realized something. She had spent so long looking for normal, for safe, for conventional. But maybe that had never been her destiny. Maybe she was always meant to be here, in this moment, with this dangerous man who loved her with an intensity that bordered on obsession. Maybe that wrong number wasn't wrong at all. Maybe it was exactly right. What are you thinking? Choi Min asked, watching her with those eyes that still made her heart race. I'm thinking that I'm glad I can't type. Your typing changed my life. And your reply changed mine. For better or worse. She thought about it, really thought about it. The danger, the violence, the constant threats, the lies, the manipulation, the overwhelming intensity of being loved by someone like him. Then she thought about the protection, the devotion, the way he looked at her like she had hung the moon, the way he would literally burn down the world to keep her safe, the way he made her feel powerful and precious and absolutely vital to his existence. Better, she said finally. Definitely better. Even with everything? Especially with everything. He kissed her again, and she let herself melt into it, into him, into this life she had never planned, but couldn't imagine living without. Somewhere in the city, someone else was probably sending a text to a wrong number. Someone else was standing at the crossroads between safe and dangerous. She hoped they were brave enough to choose danger. It was worth it. He was worth it. They were worth it. And this was just the beginning. Thank you for staying with me until the very end of this incredible journey. If this story touched your heart, wait until you see what's coming next. It's even more powerful and inspiring than you can imagine. So don't go anywhere. Click on that video showing on your screen right now to dive into another amazing story that will absolutely blow your mind. Trust me, you won't regret it.